everyone. Our topic today is about arts and creative literacy. So, before we proceed to our discussion, let me ask you first, what do you mean by arts and creative literacy? Okay, thank you very much. When we say arts and creative literacy, it refers to the ability to understand, create, and communicate through various forms of art and creative expression. It encompasses not just the skills of reading and writing, but also the imaginative processes involved in artistic creation. These are the learning outcomes. At the end of the lesson, the students can: first, define arts and creative literacy. Second, identify the 7 habits of highly creative people. Third, explain eye-hand coordination and some associated disorders, interventions, and developments. And last, cite ways on how to integrate arts and creative literacy in the curriculum. Arts and creative literacy. Creativity is the process of having original ideas that have value. Moreover, creativity is the ability to see the world in new ways. Therefore, creative individuals exhibit the ability to switch between different modes of thinking and shift their mental focus that suggests a connection between creativity and dynamic interactions of brain networks, according to San et al. 2019. This means that creativity involves coming up with new and useful ideas by looking at things differently. Creative people can think in various ways and adapt their focus depending on the situation. This ability is linked to how different parts of the brain work together. For example, a teacher is trying to make a math lessons more engaging. So first, the teacher might think logically about the key concepts students need to learn. And then, a teacher might brainstorm fun ways to teach, like using games or real-life examples. And then, he or she combine those ideas to design an interactive math activity like a treasure hunt involving math problems. So through that process, it shows how creativity can help students learn in new and meaningful ways. Likewise, creativity is the act of turning new and imaginative ideas into reality. Henceforth, it is characterized by the ability to perceive the world in new ways, to find hidden patterns, to make connections between seemingly unrelated phenomena, and to generate solutions. It involves 2 processes: thinking, then producing, according to Nyman 2011. This means that creativity involves coming up with new and imaginative ideas and then making those ideas a reality. It requires the ability to see the world from a different perspective, or looking at things in a unique way, identify hidden patterns, or discovering connections or trends that might not notice, connect unrelated concepts, or linking ideas or things that seem unrelated, and generate practical solutions or coming up with answers to problems. So the 2 main steps of creativity. Thinking. This is when you brainstorm and come up with ideas. And then the producing. This is when you take those ideas and create something tangible or useful. For example, imagine a scenario where a teacher teaches history through storytelling. So, a teacher realizes that students often find history boring and hard to remember, seeing the world differently. So, instead of just lecturing about historical events, the teacher thinks about how storytelling can make these events more engaging. And then a teacher might find patterns So the teacher notices that students love movies and stories, which can be a great way to convey historical facts. And then, making connections. The teacher connects history lessons with creative writing, encouraging students to write their own stories based on historical events or figures. Then the teacher assigns a project where students choose a historical event and create a short story or play about it. They can include dialogues, characters, and setting that reflect the time period. Afterward, students can perform their plays for the class. So, based on this example, creativity, it involves observing how students engage with the material, thinking of new ways to present history, making connections between storytelling and learning, and producing an interactive project. So by using storytelling, the teacher helps students better understand and remember historical events while also allowing them to express their creativity. As such, creativity is a combinatorial force. The ability to tap into one's inner pool of resources such as knowledge, insight, information, inspiration, and the fragments in the mind to combine them in extraordinary new ways, according to Popova NZ in Naiman 2011. It also the process of bringing something new into being that requires passion and commitment. This means that creativity is like a powerful tool that allow us to take different pieces of knowledge and ideas from our minds and combine them in new and exciting ways. So when we say inner pool of resources, it means that everyone has a collection of knowledge, insights, experiences, and inspirations inside them. This is like a mental toolbox. So combining of ideas, it means that creativity involves mixing these different pieces together to create something unique. And also bringing something new to life. It means that creativity is not just about having ideas. It's also about turning those ideas into reality. This takes passion or strong interest and commitment or dedication to seeing it through. The ability to generate creative and innovative ideas is not merely a function of the mind, but also a function of 5 key behaviors that optimize brain for discovery. First, associating or drawing connections between questions, problems, or ideas from unrelated fields. Second, questioning or posing queries that challenge common wisdom. Third, observing or scrutinizing the behavior of others to identify new ways of doing things. Fourth, networking or meeting people with different ideas and perspectives. And last, experimenting or constructing interactive experiences and provoking responses to see what insights emerge. This means that generating creative and innovative ideas involves 5 key behaviors that help optimize the brain for discovery. And these 5 behaviors are: first, associating. It means that connecting questions, problems, or ideas from different unrelated fields. Second, questioning. It is posing a challenging queries that go against conventional thinking. Third, observing. Watching the behavior of others to find new ways of doing things. Fourth, networking. Meeting and interacting with people who have different ideas and viewpoints. And last, experimenting. Interactive experiences to provoke responses and discover new insights. For example, in a science class, a teacher might encourage students to connect biology with technology. This is called associating. And then the teacher asks why certain experiments are conducted. then this is questioning. And then observe how classmates solve problems observing. And then collaborate with peers from different backgrounds, networking, and conduct hands-on experiments to test theories. It is experimenting. So, in general, these behaviors enhance the ability to think creatively and come up with innovative solutions by integrating diverse perspectives and actively seeking new experiences. Developing literacies of the arts and creativity involves design of physical learning environment, the emotional environment, scheduling, organization and implementation of curriculum, and instruction and attention to the body and brain. Therefore, teachers should be empowered in developing these literacies among students with the support of the administrators, parents, and other stakeholders. So there are 7 habits of highly creative people. According to Nyman 2014, opined that if a person makes a habit of the 7 practices, he or she will be highly creative in his or her field. Thus, this would help teachers attain highest possible level of creativity. Number 1. Prepare the ground. Creativity requires an absorbed mind, a relaxed state of focus and attention by giving the self sufficient time and space needed while letting the desire to create from the pleasure of creative expression and inspiration. So, this means that to be creative, you need to have a focused and calm mind. This involves giving yourself enough time and a comfortable space to think and explore your ideas. It's important to let your desire to create come from the joy of expressing yourself and feeling inspired, rather than from pressure or stress. For example, imagine you want to write a story. Instead of sitting down at your desk with a strict deadline, you might find a comfortable spot, or sit in a cozy chair, or go to a quiet park where you feel relaxed. Then take your time, or spend an hour just thinking about different ideas, jotting down anything that comes to mind without worrying about it being perfect. And then enjoy the process, or listen to music or read something inspiring before you start writing, allowing yourself to feel excited about the story you want to tell. So by doing this, you create an environment that nurtures your creativity, making it easier for you to come up with great ideas. Number 2, plant seeds for creativity. It is important to put attention on what you want to create, not on complaints, and set an intention to produce the desired results. So this means that plant seeds for creativity. It means that to be creative, you should focus on what you want to achieve, rather than on negative thoughts or complaints. Setting a clear intention helps direct your energy toward producing the result you desire. Number 3, live in the question. Ask questions instead of trying to find immediate answers, and pay attention to questions that other people ask. This means that instead of rushing to find answers, you should focus on asking questions and exploring ideas. This approach encourages curiosity and helps you think more deeply. Additionally, listening to questions that others ask can spark your own creativity and insights. Number 4, feed your brain. Get interested in something that later can provide you wisdom and ideas if you learn to make connections between people, places, and things that are not usually connected. So feed your brain means that you should explore new interests and learn about different topics. This can help you gain valuable knowledge and generate creative ideas by finding connections between things, people, or places that don't typically seem related. Number 5. Experiment and explore. Follow your curiosity. This means being interested in things and wanting to learn more about them. When you are curious, you ask questions and seek answers. Experiment with ideas. This involves trying out different concepts or methods. It's like testing a recipe by adding a new ingredients to see how it changes the dish, and learn from your mistakes. So when things don't go as planned, instead of feeling discouraged, you should analyze what went wrong and use that knowledge to do better next time. So therefore, the quality of your creativity will improve. So by being curious, experimenting, and learning from mistakes, you enhance your ability to think creatively and come up with better ideas. Number 6. Replenish your creative stock. You must learn to be self-nourishing and translate hobbies, talents, and skills into wonderful potentials. So when we say replenish your creative stock, this means to refresh or renew your creative energy. Just like you need food and water to stay healthy, you need activities that inspire and energize your creativity. So self-nourishing, it refers to taking care of yourself and your creative needs. It's about doing things that make you feel good and spark your imagination. Translate hobbies, talents, and skills into wonderful potential. It means taking what you enjoy doing or hobbies, what you are good at, your talents, and what you have learned skills, and using them to create something special or achieve great things. Number 7. Liberate your creativity. Your child's play provides the clue to your creativity, potentials, and passion. So the statement encourages you to observe how children play because it can give you clues about your own creativity, abilities, and interests. Children naturally explore, imagine, and express themselves through play, which is a reflection of their curiosity and passions. As adults, we often lose touch with this playful creative side. By reconnecting with it, you can discover your hidden talents and passions. In general, creativity takes on many forms in business, art, design, education, and science. When you express your creativity in these domains, you have the ability to make life indeed a work of art. So now let's proceed to eye-hand coordination. Eye-hand coordination, also known as hand-eye coordination, is the coordinated control of eye movement with hand movement and the processing of visual input to guide reaching and grasping, along with the use of proprioception of hands to guide the eyes. Eye-hand coordination can be observed in diverse activities such as the movement of objects, handwriting, catching a ball, sports, performance, music, reading, computer gaming, typing, and others. In short, it becomes part of the mechanisms of performing everyday tasks. Without it, people would be unable to carry out even the simplest actions in daily life. So when we say eye-hand coordination, it is how your eyes and hands work together to help you do tasks. It means your eyes guide your hands to move in the right way, and your brain processes what you see to help you reach, hold, or move objects correctly. Your hands also send signals to your brain about their position, which helps your eyes stay focused on the task. This coordination also uses the sense of position and movement of our hands, called proprioception, to guide our eyes and adjust our actions. So when we say eyes and hands work together, your eyes watch what you're doing and your hands move to do the job. brain processes what you see, so your brain uses the information from your eyes to help you guide your hand movements. Also, hands guide the eyes, so your hands send signals back to your brain, helping your eyes follow the action. Example of eye-hand coordination: catching a ball. So when someone throws a ball to you, your eyes follow the ball's path. You use your hands to catch it based on where you see it going. Next is writing. As you write, your eyes look at the paper to see what you're writing while your hands move the pen or pencil. Playing sports. In sports like basketball, you watch the ball and move your hands or feet to control it, like shooting or passing. Playing an instrument. So when playing the piano, your eyes read the music notes while your fingers press the right keys. Typing on a keyboard. So your eyes look at the screen or keyboard while your fingers move to type words. Why is eye-hand coordination important? Eye-hand coordination is essential for doing everyday tasks easily and safely. Without it, simple actions like pouring a drink or tying shoelaces would be very hard to do. This skill helps us interact with our environment effectively. Eye-hand coordination, therefore, is the ability of the vision systems to coordinate the information received through the eyes to control, guide, and direct the hands in the accomplishment of a given task. So this means your eyes see something and your brain processes that information to tell your hands how to move and complete a task. It is also a complex cognitive ability as it unites visual and motor skills, allowing the hand to be guided by the visual stimulation that the eyes receive. So, eye-hand coordination is more than just seeing and moving. It combines your ability to think, see, and move. Your eyes guided your hands based on what they observe. So it is the ability to do activities that require simultaneous use of hands and eyes, like an activity that uses the information that eyes perceive. So visual spatial perception, to guide the hands in carrying out a movement. This means doing tasks that need your eyes and hands to work together at the same time, like when your eyes observe the space around you and your hands adjust movements accordingly. So in short, when we say eye-hand coordination, it is the skill of using your eyes and hands together to do something. Your eyes see what's happening, your brain processes that information, and your hands move in response. It's a combination of seeing, thinking, and moving, all happening at the same time. For example, catching a ball. Your eyes see the ball coming toward you, so your brain calculates where and when it will arrive. So your hands then move to do the right position to catch it. Another example is writing or drawing. Your eyes watch the paper and your brain guides your hand to make the letters or shapes. And then threading a needle. Your eyes focus on the small hole and your hands move the thread carefully based on what you see. So now let's proceed to examples of eye-hand coordination. Number 1. In writing. When making lines, the eyes send visual information to the brain to tell where the hand is placed and if handwriting is legible. So this means that when we write, our eyes observe the paper and the letters we are forming. This visual information is sent to our brain, which help us understand where our hand is and whether our handwriting is clear. For example, if you are writing a letter, your eyes guide your hand to ensure the letters are formed correctly and legibly. If you notice your writing is messy, your eyes inform your brain to adjust your hand movements for better control. Number 2, typing on a keyboard. Although the types of movement are different, but visual information is used to tell the brain how to guide the hands or if a mistake needs to be corrected. So this means when typing on a keyboard, your eyes watch the keys or the screen and send information to your brain. This helps your brain guide your fingers to press the correct keys. If you make a mistake, your eyes notice it and your brain tells your hand to fix it. For example, if you are typing a document and notice a typo, your eyes help you see where the error is so you can correct it by moving your fingers back to the right key. This visual feedback is essential for accurate and efficient typing. Number 3, when driving. It uses visual information to move the hands on the wheel, keeping the car in the middle of the lane and avoiding accidents. So this means, when driving, your eyes use visual information to guide your hands on the steering wheel. This helps keep the car in the middle of the lane and avoid accidents. Example, as you drive, your eyes constantly scan the road and other vehicles around you. They send this information to your brain, which tells your hands how to steer the car to stay in the center of the lane and avoid obstacles like other cars or debris on the road. If another car cuts into your lane, your eyes quickly alert you, and your hands automatically adjust the steering to avoid a collision. Number 4, in sports. In any sports, the eye usually coordinates with the movement of some parts of the body called motor coordination. Depending on the sport, either hand-eye coordination like basketball, tennis, football, and etc. or foot-eye coordination, example, soccer, track, and etc. will be more dominant. So this means in sports, your eyes work with different parts of your body to perform movements, which is known as motor coordination. Depending on the sport, this could involve hand-eye coordination or foot-eye coordination. So hand-eye coordination is more important in sports like basketball, tennis, and football, where you need to use your hands to catch, throw, or hit a ball. For example, in tennis, your eyes watch the ball coming towards you, and your hand moves to hit it accurately. Foot-eye coordination is crucial in sports like soccer and track, where you use your feet to kick a ball or run in a straight line. For example, in soccer, your eyes watch where the ball is going and guide your feet to kick it in the right direction. So now let's proceed to problems and disorders related to poor eye-hand coordination. Any alteration to the visual or motor systems can significantly affect hand-eye coordination, like visual or muscular problems such as strabismus, cross eyes, amblyopia, muscle hypotonia, balance problems, or cross-laterality. So this means the changes or issue in your vision or muscles can greatly impact how well your hands and eyes work together. Problems like cross eyes or strabismus, lazy eye or amblyopia, weak muscles or muscle hypotonia, poor balance or difficulties with using both sides of your body, or cross-laterality can all make it harder to coordinate tasks. Brain damage to the motor areas or perceptive areas may also cause eye-hand coordination problems. So brain damage affecting the areas that control movement or motor areas, or the areas that process sensory information or perceptive areas, can lead to difficulties with eye-hand coordination. Examples: strabismus or cross eyes. If someone has this condition, their eyes do not line up correctly, which makes it hard to focus on and follow objects. This can make it difficult to catch a ball or do activities that require seeing and moving accurately together. Next is amblyopia. It is known as lazy eye. This condition can reduce depth perception and the ability to judge distances. It affects hand-eye coordination because the brain may not fully receive visual information from one eye, making tasks like threading a needle or catching a ball challenging. Another example is muscle hypotonia. If a person has weak muscles, their hands may not be able to make precise movements needed for writing, drawing, or playing sports, affecting hand-eye coordination. Next is cross-laterality. This means not using the same side of the body consistently. Example, using the left hand for writing and the right hand for throwing. It can confuse the brain about how to move, impacting coordination. Brain damage affecting motor or perceptive areas. Damage to the brain's areas responsible for movement or sensory processing can lead to problems with coordinating hand and eye movements, such as trouble hitting a target or recognizing spatial relationships. Poor hand-eye coordination can affect activities that may lead to developmental disorders, learning disorders, or related to reading, writing, and playful sports. So this means if a person has trouble coordinating their hands with what they see, it can cause problems in learning and performing activities like reading, writing, and sports. These issues can be linked to developmental and learning disorders. Example, a child with poor hand-eye coordination might struggle with learning to read because they have trouble following words on a page, or they might find it hard to catch a ball in physical education class. In academics, so making mistakes when they take notes, poor handwriting, poor attention. In school, difficulties with hand-eye coordination can lead to mistakes in note-taking, messy handwriting, and distractibility. Example, a student with poor hand-eye coordination might make errors when taking notes because they can quickly and accurately write down what the teacher is saying, or their handwriting might be messy due to difficulty in aligning their hand movements with what they see on the paper. In professional areas, in typing or assembling objects. So this means in professional settings, a task that require precision and speed, such as typing or assembling objects, can be challenging for someone with poor hand-eye coordination. Example, in a job that involves typing, a person with poor coordination might make more typing errors because they struggle to see the keys and press them accurately. Similarly, assembling small parts in a factory could be challenging due to difficulty handling small items accurately. And problems with daily activities. So this means daily activities that require fine motor skills such as dressing, using utensils, or grooming can be difficult for someone with poor hand-eye coordination. Example, simple tasks like buttoning a shirt or using a spoon can become frustrating and time-consuming if a person struggles with hand-eye coordination. So in general, poor hand-eye coordination can impact many areas of life, leading to difficulties in academics, professional tasks, and daily activities. These difficulties often stem from the inability to coordinate what the eyes see with the movement of hands, resulting in errors and inefficiencies. Hence, a poor hand-eye coordination can have variety of causes, but the following are two main conditions for inadequate hand-eye coordination. First is vision impairment. It is a loss of vision that makes it hard or impossible to perform daily tasks without specialized adaptations caused by loss of visual acuity, in which the eyes does not see objects as clearly as usual. So vision impairment refers to a loss of vision that makes it difficult or impossible to do everyday activities without extra help. This can happen because the eye doesn't see things as clearly as it should due to a loss of visual acuity. For example, for someone with vision impairment, simple tasks like reading a book, watching TV, or recognizing faces from a distance can be challenging because objects appear blurry or unclear. They might need to use special glasses, large print materials, or other aids to help them see better and perform daily tasks. Number 2 is movement disorders. These are characterized by impaired body movements caused by variety of causes such as ataxia, which is characterized by lack of coordination while performing voluntary movements, and hypertonia, a condition marked by an abnormal increase in muscle tension and a reduced ability of a muscle to stretch. So movement disorders are problems that affect how the body moves. These disorders can be caused by various reasons such as ataxia or hypertonia. Ataxia, it is when a person has trouble coordinating their movements. They may struggle to perform tasks that require precision, like picking up small objects or walking in a straight line, because their muscles don't work together smoothly. Hypertonia, it is a condition where a person's muscles are too tense and stiff. This makes it hard for the muscles to stretch or move normally. For example, someone with hypertonia might find it difficult to bend their arms or legs, making movements like reaching for something or walking challenging. So now let's proceed to hand-eye coordination development stages. First, between birth and 3 years. So between birth and 3 years of age, infants can accomplish the following skills and can. Number 1, start to develop vision that allows them to follow slowly moving objects with their eyes. So infants begin to develop their vision around birth to 3 years. They can start to track or follow objects with their eyes as they move slowly across their field of view. Example, a baby might follow a toy being moved back and forth in front of them with their eyes. Number 2, begin to develop basic hand-eye skills such as reaching, grasping objects, feeding, dressing. So infants start to learn how to use their hands to reach out, grasp objects, and bring them to their mouths. They also begin to learn to feed themselves and dress themselves. Example, a baby might reach out for a toy placed just out of reach and try to grasp it. Number 3, begin to recognize concepts of place and direction, such as up, down, in. So infants start to understand simple concepts about space and direction, like going up or being lifted, down being put on the floor, or in like putting a toy into a box. Example, a baby might recognize when they are being lifted up into the air or put back down. And number 4, develop the ability to manipulate objects with fine motor skills. So infants develop the ability to use their fingers more skillfully. They can pick up small objects, hold them, and use their hands for more detailed tasks. Example, a baby might learn to pick up tiny pieces of wood or use their thumb and forefinger to pick up a small toy. So in general, between birth and 3 years, infants make significant progress in their visual and motor skills, allowing them to interact more effectively with their environment. These skills are foundational for later learning and development. Number 2, between 3 and 5 years. Between 3 and 5 years of age, little children can, first, continue to develop hand-eye coordination skills and a preference for left or right-handedness. So this means between 3 and 5 years, children continue to improve their ability to use their hands and eyes together. They might start to show a preference for using one hand over the other, which is known as handedness. Example, a child might develop the ability to draw pictures or play with small toys, showing a clear preference for using their left or right hand to do these activities. Second, continue to understand and use concepts of place and direction, such as up, down, under, beside. So children continue to learn and use words related to space and direction, like understanding where objects are in relation to themselves, up, down, under, and besides. Example, a child might understand when a toy is placed under a table or beside another object. Third, develop the ability to climb, balance, run, gallop, jump, push, and pull, and take stairs one at a time. So children develop gross motor skills such as climbing, balancing, running, and jumping. They also learn to handle objects better by pushing, pulling, and taking stairs one at a time. Example, a child might be able to climb a playground structure, run around with friends, or jump from a low step. And last, develop eye or hand or body coordination, eye steaming, and depth perception. So children improve their coordination of movements across their body, where their eyes, hands, and body work together smoothly. They also develop the ability to use both eyes together, eye steaming, and to judge distances, depth perception. Example, a child might learn to catch a ball, hit it with a bat, or throw a ball accurately into a hoop, showing better coordination and depth perception. So in general, between ages 3 and 5, children continue to develop essential physical and perceptual skill. These improvements in coordination, motor skills, and understanding spatial concepts help prepare them for more complex activities in school and daily life. And the last one is 5 to 7 years. Children between 5 and 7 years old can: first, improve fine motor skills such as handling, writing tools, using scissors, and etc. So children to continue to refine their small muscle movements. They get better at using writing tools like pencils and crayons, and at cutting with scissors. Example, a child might learn to write their name neatly, draw detailed pictures, and use scissors to cut out shapes from paper. Second, continue to develop climbing, balancing, running, galloping, and jumping abilities. So children further develop their gross motor skills. They can climb, balance, run, gallop, and jump more effectively and confidently. Example, a child might be able to run faster, jump higher, and balance better on a beam at the playground. Third, continue to improve hand-eye coordination and handedness preference. So children continue to refine their ability to use their eyes and hands together smoothly. They also solidify their preference for using one hand over the other, or handedness. Example, a child might improve their ability to catch a ball, cut with scissors, or draw more accurately. And the last one is learn to focus vision on schoolwork for hours every day. So children learn to concentrate their vision on tasks that require sustained attention, such as reading, writing, or doing math problems for longer periods. Example, a child might be able to read a book for a half hour without losing focus, or complete a worksheet with multiple math problems without distractions. So in general, between ages 5 and 7, children make significant progress in developing both their fine and gross motor skills, their coordination, and their ability to concentrate. These skills are foundational for academic success and daily activities, preparing them for school and more complex tasks. That's all for my part. Thank you for listening, and God bless us all.